Radio KayMind's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And KayMind Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk Today.
What's on your mind, KayMind? If you're ready to talk, we are ready to listen. Discussing current events and local news, community spotlights, hot topics, listener stories, cultural and historical discussions, environmental issues, fun and lighthearted topics, guest interviews. KayMind, basically anything you want to talk about, we are ready to listen. Here's your guest host, Orrett Connor.
Good afternoon and welcome to Talk Today. As the slogan says, if you're ready to talk, we're ready to listen. But we're going to ask you to do some listening this afternoon because we have two very special guests in the studio. So don't change that dial. Please stay tuned. Talk Today. We'll be back shortly.
Talk Today is reminding you
to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
And now, back to Talk Today.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. We know that you have heard of KayMind before. They play a hugely important role here in the Cayman Islands, and that is what we're going to be talking about this afternoon. And of course, what is synonymous with KayMind? Miss Dimpia. And she's in the studio and she has a very special guest. So I'm going to say good afternoon, welcome to Talk Today to both of them. And then I'm going to ask Miss Dimpia to introduce our guest that we have, that she has along with her this afternoon. This is a special show just for her.
Oh. Yes, thank you, OC, as always. And thanks so much to Radio KayMind for accommodating us. Sure. So, as many people have said before, that I tend to be the voice and the face of KayMind, because, you know, we can't necessarily roll out our great volunteers because it might make some of the public uncomfortable if they know that, for instance, the OC is helping to man the line, or that, you know, you might have a close family member that they would know, all sorts of reasons. And also it could be uncomfortable too for the actual volunteers that help to man the line. So, but I have many wing walkers with me, right? So, and one of them is Miss Natasha Williams, who is who's been volunteering with KayMind since we actually went to a not when we left the role of mental health professionals manning the line, and we went with training lay people. So Natasha was one of those first people in that first cohort that KayMind had the privilege of bringing on board, training and volunteering with us for the last actually year and a bit, and has been a really tremendous volunteer. So she's here today to talk about her role with KayMind, what that's like, what the training was like, what some of the calls were like, what the experience was like. But also, you know, I want to say that when she rang me up about 4 weeks ago, and it was a Thursday evening, I was still sitting at my desk at work, and I was like, Natasha, why is she calling me? This is not good. And so I answered the phone. Hi, Natasha. Yes, Dimna, how are you? I said, I'm fine. What's up? And she said, well, I have some news for you. And I knew it was coming. And she said, unfortunately, I'm leaving KayMind. So I'm having to leave KayMind. So I literally burst into tears because, you know, it's very intimate stories. It's very intimate situations that we deal with people over, you know, the KayMind helpline. And when you have trusted volunteers, you know, and to lose those, you know, you really feel like you're losing a little part of yourself because this does take a lot of effort. However, when I asked her where she was going, my tears dried up because she said that she was going to Maui. And I was like, you know what? As much as we need you and we are going to seriously miss you, this is a great opportunity for you. And furthermore, she said, well, you know, I will look in and see if maybe when I get to Maui, you know, I can still take calls.
That's excellent.
And I was like, I don't know if our toll-free number would work in Hawaii. But anyway, but that is a reflection and a testament to who Natasha is. So if I can just maybe hand it over to her and to you.
Sure. And Ms. Williams, start out by giving our listening and viewing audience an idea of who you are, your background. You tell us all about you. Now that you're leaving us, we can now know about you.
As you say, I'm Natasha Williams. I've had the privilege of being a servant in KayMind for nearly 12 years. I work in the criminal justice sector, and both peers, colleagues, and even my clients have been amazing and it was an honor to work with everybody that I've had the opportunity to work with over the last few years. When Ms. Dipna started the KayMind Helpline in 2020, I was curious and just kind of listened and, you know, watched and asked questions every time I saw her. And when she approached me and gave me and invited me to join it, I think it was like a 2-week window where I had to prepare for the class. But it was absolutely an amazing training, where we, at that time, had the opportunity to be trained by an actual Samaritan. And it was a weekend training that we did in conjunction with the Alex Panton Foundation.
Okay.
And the one thing that I carried with me, not only as a helpline volunteer, but also as a professional, that the trainer said to me, he said that the best treatment for depression is conversation. And being a true, authentic listener and making sure that individuals who call the helpline actually feel heard and understood. And from that moment to this, every time I man the line, that is what I go in thinking. Whomever calls, if I get an opportunity or a privilege to speak to somebody, I am going to make sure that that person feels heard, whether it's major, minor, what have you. As long as I know that when they hang up, they felt heard, I've done what I volunteered to do.
Okay, we're going to take a commercial break. Sort of quick to take the first commercial break. We started a little bit late. But when we return, I want you to tell us how much or how important was it in terms of your background in probationary work? Did that in any way prepare you, you know, for the role, you know, on a helpline? Because you said it's so important, you know, for the person to be heard. So, and I'm sure that in your role as a probation officer, you have to do a lot of listening. Sometimes you may hear things that you may not want to hear, and some may consider it not genuine what you're hearing, but you have to listen as well. So it'll be interesting to hear. And at some point in time during the course of the show, we're going to ask you also for advice to anyone else who would be interested in manning a helpline and taking that course, you know, what you have gained personally from it as well. With that, folks, we're going to take a commercial break. Please stay tuned. Talk Today. We'll be back shortly.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just a delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
Stay cyber secure with KayMind National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, KayMind National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
This summer, choose from 10 international destinations for your vacation with Cayman Airways. Explore New York, discover Denver, roam Los Angeles, play in Tampa, shop in Miami, tour Panama, uncover Havana, hike in La Ceiba, jam in Kingston, or relax in Montego Bay. Connecting flights are also available from the sister islands. Cayman Airways offers more international non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline, and the lowest rates for checked bags. Book today at CaymanAirways.com, download our new mobile app, or call Cayman Airways reservations on 949-2311. Come fly with us and relax with your uniquely Caymanian airline.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Boddentown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin are the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Boddentown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Jay and Money and Appleton presents the Jamaica Independence Celebrations on Friday, August 1st at the Compass Green, featuring dancehall sensation Voicemail. Everybody! Along with Cayman's own Leah GC. You need a real strong woman in your life. And other local entertainers. There will be Kiddies Talent Contest and lots of prizes and giveaways. Plus, a big bad car on the sound blast. Come out early and get a chance to win a 43-inch TV, courtesy of Cost You Less. Best of Jamaican dishes on sale all day at the Compass Green location. Sponsored by Best Dressed Chicken, Popeyes, Wellies, Rodney's Car Rentals, General Automotive Service, Wyatt Construction, Jake Scott, Kmart Here, and Beauty Supplies, iCool, Excelsior Biscuit, Breeze FM, and Radio K-Man.
Girl, smile for me, Jamaica. And I said smile, girl, smile. Oh Lord, smile for me, Jamaica.
Radio K-Man's Talk Today. What is on your mind, K-Man?
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. I'm your guest host. My name is Orrett Connor, and my pleasure to have in the studio with me from KayMind, Miss Dimpia. And we have a special guest, Miss Natasha Williams. Now, I'm going to say something that's a little bit controversial before we go back to the talking about her background and how well that fitted her to be a volunteer, with KayMind. We constantly hear, because immigration is a hot topic in KayMind these days, and we constantly hear people use the adage, oh, when people come to KayMind, they don't want to leave. Well,
not the case.
That is not necessarily always true, because in this particular case, Miss Natasha Williams is leaving. She's going to Maui. But of course, I'm sure that we would welcome back her here at any point in time if she wanted to come back, because of the sterling service and the job that she has done in the Cayman Islands as well. So I just wanted to say that, you know, to all those persons out there who use that terminology. Yes, Cayman is a beautiful place, and she'll get an opportunity to compare Maui to Cayman, and that we may see a reversal as well.
But I'm glad that you mentioned the volunteering thing, OC, because that is actually really important. Because, well, I want people to recognise, and one of the reasons of having Natasha here today is not just to thank her publicly, along with all of our volunteers, but is to say that this is a serious volunteering. This isn't something that, you know, you can just do and you think that, you know, you're going to get a letter to support PR or whatever. No, this is serious. This requires serious training. So it's in the training that Natasha did at that point. We did a job lot of people. We trained actually, I think it was 23 people for both the Kids Helpline and KayMind. But normally with the Kids Helpline, Emily Kelly and I, we train. We do 4 sessions, which is 3 hours each over a 2-week period. So, you know, you finish work, you finish your day job on a Monday and you go straight to training at 6 o'clock and you leave after 9. And that is repeated again on the Wednesday and then the following week. And then, of course, there's meetings with your core teams, you know, to onboard people and so forth. But with KayMind, and when we first started out with our lay volunteers, right, we were asking an awful lot of people because we had gone from 9 to 5 to 6 to 11 at night. So because we only had a small group of volunteers, and with the existing people, myself included, we actually asked people to do a 5-hour shift. So you're volunteering for 5 hours, you know, and with all due respect to a lot of organisations that do very good work across our community, you know, 5 hours is a long time. It's a long time to give up of your evening. You can't go to the cinema. You can't, if there's something on at the theatre. You can't necessarily go out and hang with friends. You know, you have to be ready and available, because when that phone goes off, it's going to go off very quickly, and you need to be in a position that you can answer it. You need to be in a place where it's private, where it's safe, that you can enable people to speak, because people can be very uncomfortable initially. So it's a heavy duty volunteering for KayMind. However, we've, you know, with the training that we have since done from then, we've onboarded some other volunteers. Unfortunately, people do leave for a number of reasons, or they find that actually it's too much for them when they've gone through the training. But we're now down to doing shifts of 2.5 hours, which has made a big difference, except Natasha Williams never, ever gave up her 5-hour shift.
Wow.
So,
that's commendable.
You know, I just want to speak, you know, and thank her for that. But to anybody who's out there thinking about volunteering, joining KayMind is a great initiative. It's a great thing to be a part of. When, as Natasha said, you know, in our group WhatsApp, she felt that she had gained a family, which actually was very moving. You know, so you meet a great network of people who come from different backgrounds. And I know that you're going to ask Natasha about her background. And, you know, was that helpful in volunteering for KayMind? But at the minute, we have a range of folks who've got no background necessarily in mental health, in working with, you know, government organisations. But anyway, so I just wanted to, but thank you for raising the PR thing. It's really important.
It is. Miss Williams, over to you. So, your background, how did that help you in, you know, in any way in terms of the training and your performance, you know, on the helpline?
Although I have many years' experience in criminal justice and public service, it was actually the training that was top tier that propelled me even higher in my role, in my job, and just working the helpline. So, yes, I have a background. I have a background working with mental health populations, with, you know, addictions and a diverse group, even teaching. However, the training that we got to prepare us for a KayMind volunteer was unparalleled to all the years of experience that I had in school, mainly because there was a lot of opportunity to do role plays, to experience the different dynamics within in what we would be getting and potentially getting. And the preparation was spot on. When I had my first call, I was panicking. But again, remembering that I just needed to make sure that I listened and asked questions and communicated that I heard them, and the caller left away feeling empowered, not because I said anything fabulous, but because there was somebody, a stranger that they had never met before, that validated them, that valued them, that listened to them. And that's the most important thing I think about KayMind. We've had several instances where individuals have taken their lives or been found to have potentially taken their lives by suicide. And it's unfortunate that they didn't feel that they could call us or they could call the kids' helpline, but you can. And I know our hours are just 5 to 11, Monday through Friday, and things happen on a Saturday or things happen on a Sunday. But what I encourage everyone to do is, even if something happens at midnight on Friday, just wait. Give yourself 2 days and then call us on Monday, because somebody is going to be there. I enjoyed, volunteering, and the hours do go by fast. They go by slow, but they go by fast. And I didn't have a problem doing my full shift, by myself. It didn't seem like it was something taxing or, difficult to do, because I know that when I'm on shift, I'm there just in case somebody needs to talk. So that's why I do what I do. The 5 to 11 shift, the 6 to 11 shift, I'm saying 5 because I'm hoping it is 24 hours one day. That small window is an opportunity that the individuals who come from work, have families, have taxing, requirements throughout the day. Everybody who is volunteering has other obligations. You may have family members that you're trying to deal with and manage at the home, but we're on. And we even had an event where myself and another volunteer was at a public event, and it was her night. And she was on it. She got the phone, oh, someone's calling. Immediately got up, got to a private space, did what she needed to do to help the person, and came back and then sat down, and it wasn't 15 minutes. She got another call. She said, I'll be right back. And she did the same thing. That's the commitment and the dedication that we have as volunteers. Everything shuts down when someone calls us because they are our number one priority.
You spoke of the importance of making sure that the person on the other end of the line is heard. So those persons who like to interject their opinion into something, if you got someone who volunteered and has that sort of disposition, that sort of character, you have to sort of like mold them into a listener as opposed to into a talker, because they know everything. They think they know everything.
Yeah, you really, this is where, you have to be very good at, when people want to volunteer, because you can have the best heart in the world. Yes. But unfortunately, if you're somebody who's going to talk about their problems when someone starts telling you about theirs, or doesn't hear the little things that are being said and doesn't allow for silence, because silence is a very important tool. But also it can take some time before someone is ready to speak. So, I had a call just last week, actually, where the individual wasn't able to speak for quite a while because they were so emotional. They were so sad about something that had happened. But yeah, so we have to, maybe that's not the sort of person that you would say would make a great volunteer, and I don't know, the training is very good, but it's not something you can just run with and say, okay, this person talks 90 to the dozen, they're good at talking, but no, it's not. It's actually about listening. And I think, Natasha, you wanted to speak about the active listening part of volunteering and the importance of it.
Paul, just give me one. Paul, do we have a commercial break or we go straight through? I need to come to you to a commercial break. Okay, so we will get to Ms. Natasha as soon as we return from this commercial break. Please stay tuned. Talk Today. We'll be back shortly.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Stay cyber secure with KayMind National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, KayMind National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
This summer, choose from 10 international destinations for your vacation with KayMind Airways. Explore New York, discover Denver, roam Los Angeles, play in Tampa, shop in Miami, tour Panama, uncover Havana, hike in La Ceiba, jam in Kingston, or relax in Montego Bay. Connecting flights are also available from the sister islands. KayMind Airways offers more international non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline, and the lowest rates for checked bags. Book today at KayMindAirways.com, download our new mobile app, or call KayMind Airways reservations on 949-2311. Come fly with us and relax with your uniquely Caymanian airline.
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
The best foundation you can wear is glowing, healthy skin. The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter specialize in enhancing your skin's well-being. Whether you're seeking advanced skincare, including any skin cancers, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email drporterkayman@gmail.com or call 946-9020. That is 946-9020.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Good afternoon and welcome back to this special edition of Talk Today. And why is it special? It is special because we have two special guests in our studio. One very special guest who has been here for 12 years and is leaving one island to go to another island. And while here on this island, she has performed really exemplary, done exemplary work in the Cayman Islands. That person is Miss Natasha Williams, who's a probation officer, but also a volunteer with KayMind. And of course, in the studio with us also is Miss Dimpia. from KayMind as well. So I'm going to give the mic back over to her, and then we're going to go back over to Miss Natasha, just in case you want to insert something in the meantime.
Well, just very quickly, I know that we started off on a bit of a roll, started talking about KayMind, and I'm sure that all of our listeners out there know that KayMind is the mental health helpline of the Cayman Islands for adults. But of course, you know, nobody is too big or too small to call into us. So as much as we don't encourage children or young people, but of course we'll accept every call and any call. It doesn't matter who you're for, where you're from, what age you are, all we want to do is help. And on that subject, actually, it's quite interesting that, you know, I was looking at our statistics, and of course we've recently changed our call log system, so we haven't got them all in yet. But would you believe it that almost 10% of the calls that are coming in thus far on those stats are actually coming from other islands?
Wow.
Yeah, so we're getting calls from Jamaica, we're getting calls from the Bahamas, we've had a call from Bermuda, mostly Jamaica. I've reached out to Jamaica, to the Jamaican government to ask about their helplines, because they're advertised as having helplines, hotlines for mental health, suicide in fact. But I've not had any response from that. I'm not sure they're actively working. In fact, last night we even had a call from Jamaica. Wow. But in the interest of time, I'm going to hand it over to Natasha to wrap up. But I just want to remind the public that we are a helpline. We're there for anything at all. You know, we're there to simply, if you're feeling lost, if you're feeling very emotional, if you're feeling suicidal, if you feel that you just don't know where to turn and you have a problem on your hands, that's what we are. We're not a clinical counselling service. We are a volunteer-led service. And we simply, you know, our core values include, you know, listening, confidentiality, being non-judgmental, allowing people to make their own decisions, and, you know, really establishing that human contact. So maybe Natasha would like to speak to some of those core values that she's been able to utilise.
One of the things that I appreciated from the training, they gave us this image of a listening wheel, and it's something that, you know, as a professional in the helping field, that you're trained in, you learn, but how they summarized it and pulled it together for the suicide helpline for KayMind was really beneficial. And I found it to work in so many different ways, not just for the helpline, but also professionally as well. The first thing is on the listening wheel, it's important that that we summarize. As I said, you want to make sure that the person calling feels heard, and one of the best ways to do that is to summarize what they're saying, and actively pulling out those key things and those key phrases, those key thoughts, those key feelings that they express. Also reflecting back to them, even reflecting emotions. And if you're not sure, the best approach is clarify. So you're clarifying by asking questions, you're summarizing, and you're saying, okay, is that what I'm hearing? Is that what you're feeling? Or it sounds like this experience has caused this type of emotions and feelings. Short words of encouragement. It's not a long drawn out where you have to do a long soliloquy. It is, tell me more. I'm here. I'm listening. You know, keep going. You don't have to stop. You know, those types of short things, those short phrases really help keep the conversation moving, and reacting. I'm very expressive, and the clients that I've worked with over the years, they often roll their eyes at me because I'm just, you know, I get all excited and, you know, I'm moving around all over the place, and I'll say, they don't really like that, and they say, no, we don't, but I do it anyway. But reacting also, when a client says something that you can pull from that is positive, reacting when the client is saying something that they may feel hurt or unsure about, but demonstrating again that you're listening, because you're reacting to it. And then finally, just asking questions that allow them to talk, not just yes or no answers, but asking those questions that shows an actual genuine interest in them. So those are things that are key steps and key strategies that we use when we're on the calls with our callers. And I just want to, I know Ms. Dipna has talked about it. As many individuals, if you have a passion for people and a compassion, and you're willing, whether you're a talker or not, if you're willing to listen, by all means, contact Ms. Dipna and sign up to volunteer. We need volunteers. KayMind deserves to have volunteers that are available 24 hours a day. We know that there are people who don't have crisis from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. They have crisis other times, and they need someone to talk to. We need the volunteers that are able to be there from 8 a.m. to 12, or 12 to 2, and 2 to 5, and 5 to 11. We need 24-hour volunteers. And so if you have a passion for people, if you have a compassion for people, and you want to stop or be a protective factor for this community so that individuals aren't so alone that they think the only way to help themselves is to no longer be alive, then by all means, contact KayMind, contact Ms. Dipna, and offer to volunteer. We need volunteers.
So I'm going to ask the rhetorical question. How do you then replace someone like Ms. Natasha?
Well, that's where we have to look to our existing pool of volunteers and simply say, right, guys, you know, we're a man down, so who is able to cover? Can you cover a part of an extra shift? So fortunately, that has been covered, but it means then that, you know, that somebody else is going to have to pick up that part of that other shift elsewhere. And with people having the commitments that they do, you know, a lot of it falls back on a small core of people. But we are small. And as Miss Natasha says, you know, we would love to be a 24-hour service. And I know that this has been asked before, OC. The reason that we're not is because we are volunteers.
Yes.
I'm not sitting here today in my HSA role. I am sitting here today as Dipna Carton, who does this out of work, you know, who keeps this together, keeps it led. Because when this was set up 5 years ago, there was a number of helplines set up across the Caribbean. And I know because I worked with colleagues throughout those countries, and they would reach out, what have you done? How are you managing this? And a few years later, when of course COVID dissipated and everything resumed back to a new normal, you know, I would reach out and say, how's the lines going? Oh, we closed them down because number one, we weren't getting a lot of calls. Number two, we didn't have the staff. And I said, well, we're a bit like a fire service, right?
Exactly.
You don't. It's one fire, and even if we get one call a week, that one call can make all the difference, because that one call has a ripple effect on a family, on a community, on a neighbourhood, on colleagues, on everybody, you know. So we are very determined that, you know, KayMind has been going strong. We were originally known as the Mental Health Helpline, with money from R3, which I'm very, very grateful for. We were able to rebrand. We're not going anywhere. You know, this is here to stay.
What's so interesting in this is that whenever I have groups that come on and talking about mental health and mental health issues, KayMind is the centerfold. You're right there. KayMind is always mentioned as a part, you know, of the solution and in terms of what you do. So the expectations are there.
I know, and we want those expectations, because we are a serious service, right? We've had some problems in the last week, and I just want to say with the technical side of the line, and that has been resolved to an extent, but it's not completely resolved. So I'm still working with the technical people to try and resolve that even further, because we want a seamless service. But, you know, it's great that we're mentioned, and that's why I'm so grateful for all of the volunteers, OC, because I could not do this on my own. Do you know what I mean? With all the best will in the world, there's absolutely no way. I couldn't do it. Do you know what I mean? Because I have a life too, I have a fabulous life sometimes. Yes. But, so I'm grateful to Natasha, and as I say, that's why we're here, because normally I can't roll people out. David Nightingale left last year, who was volunteering with our service, so we rolled him out. But to the people that are left and might be listening to this today, all the family of KayMind, you're all important. And I thank you. And as Natasha says, if you would like to think about volunteering for KayMind, you can do so by reaching out to KayMind@hotmail.com. Very easy to remember, KayMind@hotmail.com.
Well, we want to wish Miss Natasha all the best, in her new venture. But I would say that the Cayman Islands would welcome you back with
definitely.
open arms, because it's people like you that we need in Cayman, those who are prepared to give rather than looking for something for themselves. We need so much more, of that as well. So all the best, and we'll let you say goodbye.
Thank you to everyone in the Cayman Islands that I've had a privilege of working with, of knowing, of working alongside. I just want to say thank you all for the opportunity to be here, for allowing me to serve this community. This will always be considered a place that I call home, no matter where I am in the world. This community is beautiful and wonderful and lovely, and I will always take every person in this country and in these islands in my heart. And if you want to come to Maui, just let me know.
Yeah, look you up.
Yeah, just let me know.
Okay, folks, so we've reached the top of the hour. We're going to do our headline news. When we return, the phone lines, I believe, will be open. If there are no other guests in the studio, please stay tuned. Talk today. We'll be back shortly.
Since 1976.
Covering Grand Cayman, Little Cayman, and right. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Radio KayMind in the Cayman Islands. From Radio KayMind's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
I'm April Cummings with your headlines. The beehive woes near Governor's Beach are over, at least for now. Police say a local beekeeper and the Public Works Department have removed the beehive that was, quote, disturbed today, triggering extensive swarming in the area. Police expressed appreciation to everyone involved for their assistance in the matter. Turning to international headlines, a gunman who killed 4 people at a Manhattan office building before killing himself claimed in a note to have a brain disease linked to contact sports and was apparently trying to target the National Football League's headquarters, but took the wrong elevator. This according to Mayor Eric Adams today. 4 people were killed in the shooting, including an off-duty New York City police officer. U.S. President Donald Trump said he ended his friendship with Jeffrey Epstein and threw the now-disgraced financier out of his private club in Florida after Epstein betrayed him more than once by hiring people who worked for him. Trump did not say what his employees did or where they worked, and the White House declined further comment. Those are your headlines. I'm April Cummings.
Radio KayMind. More news available at www.radiokayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter. Radio KayMind Headline News.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Do you have a healthcare question but not sure who to ask? Contact HSA's Patient Call Center to speak to one of our experienced clinical team members. We are here to answer your questions and help guide you through your healthcare journey. Need to make an appointment? Our team can help. Contact HSA at 949-8600 or email info@hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Radio KayMind is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands. Captain Keith Parker Tibbetts, MBE, JP. Captain Keith Parker Tibbetts was born at Cotton Tree Bay in KayMind on 15th October 1916 to James Nathaniel Tibbetts and Elsie Huldah Tibbetts, nee Hunter. His father, uncles, and paternal grandfather were highly respected in the island of KayMind for their skill in carpentry and shipbuilding. In addition to this, his maternal grandfather was a master mariner. Coming from a family of carpenters and seamen and living near the family shipyard, he was involved in the shipbuilding trade from his early childhood. As a young student, he attended school at Cotton Tree Bay under the tutelage of Robert Mr. Bert Foster until Standard 6. And in 1928, at the age of 12, he learned to drive a car. This was part one of a special Sister Islands vignette series dedicated to Captain Keith Parker Tibbetts.
I'll be back. I've got 22 more days.
Radio KayMind is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands, the ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom, the land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your Sister Islands.
Discover all that our Sister Islands have to offer.
Radio KayMind's Talk Today. What is on your mind, KayMind?
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. No guests in the studio, so the phone lines are open. Our toll-free number, as you know, 1-800-534-8255. Also 949-8037, 949-6990. WhatsApp number 925-3261. What I have been trying to do each day is to choose a word of the day. And when you do Google them, you know, there's so many words of the day. The one that I chose today is the word pacify. Pacify, P-A-C-I-F-Y. It is a verb. And the meaning is cause to be more favorably inclined, gain the good will of. And the reason that I chose the word pacify is because we know that immigration was what it normally say front and center on the campaign trail and on the manifestos of all of the candidates and the political parties in the last election, in the April general election. And what is important now is that while there has to be some give and take in terms of what our legislation seeks to do, we want to ensure that we do not pacify those persons who don't really want the right thing to be done for Caymanians. So we don't want to pacify them, meaning that we don't want to be more favorable towards them. The favor has to go in terms of what is best for Cayman and Caymanians. Just saying that. Not to start any discussion, but if you want to talk about immigration, please feel free to do so. I'm feeling a little bit more philosophical today. And as a result of that, we can look at a daily inspiration as well. One of the daily inspirations. And this one by Aristotle says, happiness in all things of nature, there is something of the marvelous. And Aristotle, of course, spent much of his life observing the world closely from both the stars and the sky. To many creatures of land and sea. These words that I just read to you, and I'll read them again. In all things of nature, there is something of the marvelous. So those words come from the biological writings wherein he argued that even the most innocuous parts of the natural world, and innocuous meaning those things that are not that harmful, such as bugs, leaves, and dirt, reveals something beautiful when we look closely. Nature doesn't work by accident, Aristotle taught. Everything has a purpose, and even the smallest parts contribute to the larger whole. More than 2,000 years later, the ancient Greek philosopher's sentiment still rings true. Grandiosity isn't required for something to be awe-inspiring. Sometimes life's greatest marvels are found in the simple things. Folks, I want to repeat that to you, right? Grandiosity isn't required for something to be awe-inspiring. And there are some grandiose things that are awe-inspiring, like, for instance, the Statue of Liberty, the Empire State Building when it was the tallest building. I'm sure I've never had the opportunity to visit the pyramids, but I'm sure they're awe-inspiring as well. Panama Canal. We hear about the 7 wonders of the world. There are probably more now. So, grandiosity isn't required for something to be awe-inspiring, even though it can be. Sometimes life's greatest marvels are found in the simple things. And you know something? I like simplicity. I love the simple life. I love getting up in the morning and going out in the yard and walking around. Even if the same fruit that I saw on the tree, that's on the tree, I looked at it the past evening. When I wake up in the morning, go back outside and I look at it again. I love the simple life, and I hope and I trust that you do as well, because anything other than the simple life. When we leave this earthly life, we cannot take any of it with us. Can't take it at all. So that is why it is so important. Now, I'm sure you're going to say, oh, see, he wants to be a philosopher now. He's talking about the, simple life and being a philosopher and everything else. So one of our listeners has sent me this and says, happiness comes when we stop complaining about the troubles we have and offer thanks for all the troubles we don't have. That is so true as well. That is so, so true. So, again, and let's go back and talk about KayMind a little bit, because I want to push a little bit today in terms of volunteering. And as you heard Miss Dimpia say, that not everyone can be a volunteer. You have to have a purpose behind it. The purpose can't be because you're looking for brownie points or you're looking for PR points. No. You heard Miss Natasha Williams speak, about her commitment and why she chose to join KayMind and to man the helplines, as well. But there are many of you out there, either indigenous or not. I don't want to use the wrong terminology. I don't think there's such a word as unindigenous. We'll just say either indigenous or here by other means, who I am sure that you have something to offer, something that you can offer in relation to helping. You gain, there's so much to gain here in the Cayman Islands. Yesterday on For the Record, I shared with you a KayMind Compass article about the remittances leaving the Cayman Islands. What was it? $300 and odd million in terms of remittances. And there was a story about an Indian lady. I didn't use her name, even though it's in the newspaper. I didn't, use her name, but she was so grateful, so thankful to be able to be in a position where she could support the rest of her family while at the same time making sacrifices here in the Cayman Islands. There are many of you who don't have to make the sacrifices because you are getting those big salaries. You're probably getting your big bonus at the end of the year as well. And some of you may be managing partners. Some of you may be salaried partners or equity partners, as well. You're getting a lot. Now, yes, some of you will say, well, but we sacrifice, we work hard for it as well. And that is understood. And if you have families that you have to support, we expect you to do that as well. But there are many of you who can give more, either in cash or in kind. And if it means then that our immigration legislation has to be crafted in such a way that if you don't give, then we find a way of extracting it from you. But you need to be prepared to give back as well. And again, making sure that I create that balance. Some of you do give. Some of you do give anonymously as well. And I can attest to it. being a part of the scouting fraternity here in the Cayman Islands, scouting organization here in the Cayman Islands. We have benefited immensely in terms of the building of our scout headquarters, corporate citizens, individuals who have given, as well. So many of you do give. But I would venture to say, and maybe I need to hear from some of you out there, that the younger generation of people coming to the Cayman Islands, many of them are coming for what they can get and not what they can give. And if you disagree with that, then I challenge you. Take me up on it. Call me. And debate me on it. If you feel that you hear, or you know someone who's here and who's young and are not prepared to give back to the society as well. I believe we go straight through without a commercial break on this segment, Paul, or do I come to you with a commercial break? Until 1:30. Okay, so we can talk. So I got lots of things to talk about today as well. I have everything queued up, everything lined up for you. This is one as well. I'm coming at those in the hospitality industry, those hotelers out there, those that they get their employees from sister locations, sister jurisdiction, hotels, like for instance, a particular brand they know. While they have to advertise on Jobs Cayman, at the same time you wonder, well, how in the world it is that a Caymanian who has applied on the jobs portal, the work jobs portal, were unable to get that job, but someone from Nepal, someone from Nigeria, someone from Uganda, someone from the Philippines, for some reason, they were successful, but the Caymanian who's right here on the rock, right here on the ground, unable to, because of connections. So if you worked at a particular brand hotel in Dubai or someplace else, and if they advertise internally, then they may see that job there. I'm going to share with you, in 1966, how the Cayman Islands tourism industry and how the training went about. And those are the things that we need to get back to the grassroots. And I'm going to share that with you. But we do have a caller. So let's take the caller. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, ma'am. How are you?
Okay, yes, we do need to get back to our grassroots real bad.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Connor, this spot, Cemetery Beach, who that belongs to?
Government. That's
government.
Yes, government. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. They put down what do you call it, a mat for you to walk on to get down to the water. What do they call it?
I think it's more for. Is it more for wheelchair accessible
yes,
person?
You can say that. Yes. But anyhow, they found to put one down there, right? And they did some 2 steps there some good while now. I remember coming to the show saying that they needed to put a lower step because those 2 that's there is still too high for people that got is a disability individual that trying to get down to the beach.
And does the erosion affect it as well? Sometimes with the sand washes away, it comes back. Does that affect the height?
Say that again, hon?
Does that the erosion sometimes affect the height of the steps as well in terms of how?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, wait, the steps are are the steps are like the first entrance coming down to the sand. And
Oh, okay. Yes. Okay.
But it do need a second layer on a lower step there, and it also need a rail to hold on to, and also knowing that you say that our beach belongs to the government, and we're having so much beach problem here in the island, and we got people come from all over the island, to the locals and the visitors, going to use that beach. And that beach should be prestige beach, knowing that it belongs to the government and it draws a very large crowd of people there. You can say practically all year round. That's where I'm coming from. So it needs to need some filling in and needs some proper leveling off, because then they got stones there that you're walking and bucking your foot in. And if a senior go down there and buck their foot and fall down, I got to tell you right now, I back mine, and thank God that I was able to balance myself. But not everybody can be able to balance themselves. You understand? So if that is a government beach, and we have had government after government, and they cannot see that beach needs to be upgraded to be a decent beach, knowing that we got beach problem in this island, it is a shame to know that nothing is being done to that beach. It could do with a lot of upgrading. They got some little bench made up under the trees there. The visitors carry their own little umbrella and their chairs and so forth. But the beach can take some uplifting and some grooming on the grounds to make it a better, safer place to walk. So I just hope.
I was going to ask do you believe that it would be a good investment, because we have several public beaches now, but I believe was it called the Parks and Recreational Unit or something like that were the ones that were responsible for it. But should each beach have at least one, if not two, attendants there, at least for 8 hours or even 6 hours during the course of the day? Wouldn't that be good employment for some Caymanians?
I was going to just get on that. I agree with you 100% because, Mr. Connor, the current down that Sports Beach, it is very strong. And there should be someone there, a lifeguard or some sort of person who knows the water, who can be prepared to come into the water if someone loses control of themselves in the water. Down there is dangerous. It is dangerous. The current is very strong at that beach. And there should be someone down there to help protect us and keep us safe. And it needs the beach needs uplifting. They need to get some sun, level it off, and get rid of those rocks that you're walking and bucking in. You don't know they're there until you actually buck into it. You need leveling off real bad. And I really believe that something should be done with that beach, knowing that we got so much beach problem on this island right now, and it's a very busy beach. You understand?
Yes.
It's coming from all over the island. Even cruise ship passengers goes there when they're ready. You got a moored stuff, so got people going there.
Okay, now and
people.
And the big beach now, that's the larger one in the Peace Bay area. That's going to be pretty attractive. Do you think that that's going to be too far to have to take passing tourists from the cruise ship, or?
I would not say it would be too far, depending on the day, the time of the shipping for that particular day. If it's going to be got some ships will stay till all 5 or 6 o'clock here in the island, and that would be a beautiful tour to take them on and let them enjoy themselves up there as well as the Sports Beach. But that's going to be a very nice beach when it's finished up there in the area. Very nice from what I can see from the road.
Yes. That's going to be.
And we need our MPs, that's for the Newlands area and wherever they are for, to get on a ball and get that Sports Beach upgraded, and a handrail and a lower step and some filling in and some nice unmovable benches that people can come there and sit down and enjoy themselves more than ever. Because let me tell you something, Mr. Connor, we talk about mental health here in the Cayman Island. I don't really believe that people sit down for a second and realize that mental health is coming across the board from just about everything from your home, from your work, from the school.
Your social life,
When your social life, when you go to do business on various places. I mean, I've been on the road from this morning 9:30, now it's 1:30, trying to get my vehicle in order. And let me tell you something, I was just running back and forth without a glass of water on my chest just to show you.
You got to be careful. You got to take care of yourself. Take care of yourself personally. Don't neglect yourself.
I know, but I'm going to let you go, but I want to say this. I feel that these companies here in Cayman, especially when you're doing stuff with the government, they should all be working together. Everything seems to be so separated. I'm going to give you an example, and I'm going to let you go.
Okay.
For example, the public transport, right? You want to deregister your car. You got to go to the license. You go back to public transport. They should have someone in there that can do all of this.
One stop shop.
Exactly, and submit it to the other department at the end of the week or end of the day or whatever it takes, instead of making someone run up and down like a little jackass on the island. The island is too small for this run up and down just to get yourself certified to be safe on the road, and then because some idiots come out here who wants to kill you, you know. But anyhow.
But I when you get a chance, I want you to talk about the process. I want you to walk me through it step by step, so that we can see and whether or not we can make any suggestions, and hopefully the concerned government entities would be listening, so that they can get some idea in terms of how they can improve their service.
Yeah, well, you just let me know when you're ready. Don't mind me sometimes.
Okay.
But I'm in no competition with Graham Rankin, so he don't have to say, well, he can get to the call tomorrow morning before me. Graham, you just behave yourself. I know how Mr. Connor will talk later, okay?
You do. Take care. Take care.
Bye, darling.
Folks, we're going to take a commercial break. Please stay tuned. Talk today. We'll be back shortly.
Stay cyber secure with KayMind National. Protect your computers and mobile devices with security software to defend against cyber attacks through viruses, malware, and other online threats. Be aware of unsecure Wi-Fi connections when in public. If you need to access your online banking or sensitive information on your mobile devices, try disabling the Wi-Fi and switching to data from your mobile network. If you suspect a fraud attempt, please contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
This summer, choose from 10 international destinations for your vacation with KayMind Airways. Explore New York, discover Denver, roam Los Angeles, play in Tampa, shop in Miami, tour Panama, uncover Havana, hike in La Ceiba, jam in Kingston, or relax in Montego Bay. Connecting flights are also available from the sister islands. KayMind Airways offers more international non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline, and the lowest rates for checked bags. Book today at KayMindAirways.com, download our new mobile app, or call KayMind Airways reservations on 949-2311. Come fly with us and relax with your uniquely Caymanian airline.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
This is an announcement for shareholders of KayMind National Corporation Limited. Republic Financial Holdings has made a cash offer of $7.75 per share for the purchase of the remaining minority shareholdings of KayMind National. The offer is open until 5 p.m. Cayman time on July 29th. Shareholders are reminded to review the offer and submit their form of acceptance to offers at rfhl.com if they wish to accept the offer. For any questions, shareholders can reach out to Republic Financial Holdings at offerquestions@rfhl.com.
Who will be the next Miss Universe Cayman Islands? Join us on the 9th of August, 7 p.m. at the Westin Ballroom to see our 4 beautiful ladies vying for the crown. Purchase your tickets on Eventpro and at Funky Monkey today. VIP tickets are also available. Come out and support your favorite contestant. A special thanks to our main sponsors, the Cayman Islands Ministry of Tourism, KayMind Airways, Compass Media, Radio KayMind, Caymanian Times, King Sports Center, The Finishing Touch, Kirk Freeport, KayMind Medical Center Limited, Crystal Caves, Woodlands Corporation, and the Physiotherapy Center.
Radio KayMind's Talk Today. What is on your mind, KayMind?
Good afternoon. Welcome back to Talk Today. We have a caller, but before we go to the caller, person has written and said, agreed. Create jobs for a Caymanian to be at the beaches. Surely, if the government can pay someone to watch empty buildings and parking lots, beaches should have someone as well. With that, we go to our caller. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today.
Good afternoon, OC. Peter Schmidt here.
Hey, good afternoon, sir. How are you? Good to hear your voice.
Thank you, and good to hear yours always. I'm well, thank you, and I hope the same for you.
Thank you. I am.
And I'm calling to say that I am going to write to government. I have to figure out which entity that I should address about making regulations about the use of the jake brake on big trucks.
Mm-hmm.
They are terribly noisy. I mean, you hear it for blocks. For blocks, it is disruptive. It sounds like jackhammers are going off. And as you know, we now have a lot of heavy truck traffic all over the island, or at least in the western area. And I know a lot of them originate from the east, so I'm sure they're hearing it as well. I was reading about it, and they are prohibited from use in many areas, in particular in residential areas. There are whole counties in North America and countries that prohibit their use in residential areas, and I think I would like to have government looking at making regulations doing the same. They have regular brakes on those trucks.
Mm-hmm.
There's absolutely no need for those jake brakes.
Mm-hmm.
If they want to, if they are, if government means or the controlling agencies mean to let them being used where the speed limit is at least 50 miles per hour.
Exactly. So I would suggest... Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I am speaking to you because I hope to generate some interest from other people that are teed off about this noise. This morning we were on the beach, on 7 Mile Beach, in the area where the old road has been terminated. And these trucks were coming over the bridge by the Kimpton there. And I mean, it was disturbing people on the beach.
Wow.
You know, it's extremely noisy. And of course, in particular, Northwest Point Road where we live, and there's a lot of construction going on, a lot of heavy trucks. So we hear it all the time, you know, from early morning, not so much at night, but certainly early morning and all day long.
I would say that Department of Drivers, Vehicle and Driver's License would be the first place to check to see if they can tell you if there's anything in the legislation. I will try to do some research on it myself, and or hopefully someone who knows something about it, or someone is listening at DVDL, or someone from the comms department in government is listening to the concerns that are being expressed and may do some research and provide us with some answers on that. That would be helpful. And I know there are people out there who are listening, sir. But I'll keep it alive, and if I don't, please remind me also.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We have another caller, Paul? No callers? Okay, let me share some of the WhatsApp messages that we have as well. This person has a sports question. It says, "Good day, Mr. Connor. We would like to know why our some non-Caymanian athletes given Caymanian status to represent Cayman in international sports, and some representing Cayman that just came here. We feel this is a loophole that needs to be closed. Well, the way that the WhatsApp is worded, and maybe it wasn't intended that way, we don't necessarily give people Caymanian status so that they can go and represent the Cayman Islands. Now, in the past, years and years ago, I remember even when I was at Immigration Department, someone would be playing football, playing for the national team locally, and when it's time for them to travel overseas, realize, they don't have a Cayman passport. And then they would run over to immigration, run over to the passport office. How can we go about getting a passport for this person? And of course, if the person doesn't, and that is when many times they realize that they didn't qualify for a passport, because while they may have gone through the whole school system with their friends and all of their friends thought that they were Caymanian, they weren't. So we don't give status for people to represent us, but there are people who do, or individuals who do possess Caymanian status and represent us. And it depends on what international body you're competing under as to their requirements as well. What is so funny is only today, I was thinking about a situation, and I'm not sure how many of you remember this, but if you do, please give me a shout or send it a message on the WhatsApp number. The number is 925-3261, or WhatsApp number 925-3261. Do you all remember it was either in the, I think it was in the 70s, late 70s, when there was a young man of British nationality, British origin, and those days qualifying for Olympics and Commonwealth Games, they weren't as strict, and we had someone who supposedly went to represent the Cayman Islands, and he made us look so bad. He was the last person on the track. They actually had to remove him from the track. It was a huge, huge embarrassment to the Cayman Islands. If anyone remembers that, please sort of like fill me in, because I recall it, and it made the headlines in our newspaper, as well. The Cayman Islands were featured, but we were featured for the wrong reason. So I'll just say that much to the writer of that WhatsApp message. This other person says that they agree with having a beach attendant at the beach. The amount of money being paid each year for the maintenance of these areas is far from piggy bank money. I want to thank that listener for that as well. And this one says, Mr. OC, it's good and a very good thing that I am a retired person, because listening to you on every one of your shows, I have to listen to you. Keep up the fantastic job. Thank you very much for that. The person says that they're so upset about something that they saw this morning. There was an old lady crossing. A truck stopped so that she could cross. There comes a vagabond overtaking the truck. It was only God who saved that poor woman. Again, crazy driving. I had my little vocal tiff this morning with a driver as well in the South Sound area, a young man, Caymanian, had that Caymanian accent, no doubt. This was past the Smiths-Barcadere, heading towards the south, so I'm going through South Sound. I had a helmet light on, my rear Garmin light with a camera on the back of it, and a headlight, well lit. A car coming in the opposite direction. And instead of the driver waiting until there is clearance so that my bike, the car coming in the opposite direction, and him trying to pass us wouldn't happen at the same time. And I hollered out, and the person stopped. Of course, this is at about 5 minutes after 5 in the morning. It is still dark. When the car stopped, I pulled my bike over to the opposite side of the road, because you cannot take chances these days in terms of you don't know who people are, you don't know what they have, so you try to avoid any confrontation with them. Anyway, he and I had a little back and forth, and his explanation was, well, the car was coming in the opposite direction. What did you expect me to do? What I expected him to do, and I didn't carry on the conversation. I just said, my apologies, sorry, and let him go because I didn't want the confrontation. But the proper thing for him to have done, he was crossing me. Right? It's as if he's crossing a motorcycle, another vehicle. If there's another vehicle coming in the opposite direction that prevents you from crossing, then you wait back until it is clear for you to cross. That is what that person needed to do. But he felt that he had to go right through. So I don't know if he's listening. I hope he's listening. But yes, you have to be patient, out there. You can't feel that you have to get where you're going irrespective of how you get there. That is really not how it works, folks. Let's look at one more WhatsApp message here. The person says, in regards to what the caller said, I get it 100%. I requested some documents from a certain government department only for one document to be missing. Was told by someone at the desk downstairs that upstairs was basically separate from them. Mind you now, it was one department. I can almost think of what government department that is, but I won't call any names. But these things, unfortunately, do happen, and unfortunately, I have to go to a commercial break. Or fortunately, because it helps to pay the bills. Please stay tuned. Talk today. We'll be back shortly.
Stay cyber secure with KayMind National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, KayMind National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Hungry? Need Subway any time of the day?
Yeah.
We've got you covered. Subway at Anderson Square, Centennial Towers, and Countryside Shopping Village is open 24/7, serving up fresh, delicious subs anytime you need them. And for your weekend cravings, West Shore Center is also open 24 hours on Friday nights and until 1 a.m. on Saturdays, because it's never too late for a great meal. Skip the line and order ahead with the Subway Cayman Islands app, or get your favorites delivered straight to your door with Bento and Let's Eat. Fresh, fast, and always here when you need us. Subway. Eat fresh.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
This is an announcement for shareholders of KayMind National Corporation Limited. Republic Financial Holdings has made a cash offer of $7.75 per share for the purchase of the remaining minority shareholdings of KayMind National. The offer is open until 5 p.m. Cayman time on July 29th. Shareholders are reminded to review the offer and submit their form of acceptance to offers at rfhl.com if they wish to accept the offer. For any questions, shareholders can reach out to Republic Financial Holdings at offerquestions@rfhl.com.
Who will be the next Miss Universe Cayman Islands? Join us on the 9th of August, 7 p.m. at the Westin Ballroom to see our 4 beautiful ladies vying for the crown. Purchase your tickets on Eventpro and at Funky Monkey today. VIP tickets are also available. Come out and support your favorite contestant. A special thanks to our main sponsors, the Cayman Islands Ministry of Tourism, KayMind Airways, Compass Media, Radio KayMind, Caymanian Times, King Sports Center, The Finishing Touch, Kirk Freeport, KayMind Medical Center Limited, Crystal Caves, Woodlands Corporation, and the Physiotherapy Center.
Radio KayMind's Talk Today. What is on your mind, KayMind?
Good afternoon. Welcome back to Talk Today. So I said that I wasn't going to mention the department. But you know what? This is in relation to what the writer wrote earlier, and I'm going to read it again. It says, in regard to what the caller said, I get it 100%. I requested some documents from a certain government department only for one document to be missing. Was told by someone at the desk downstairs that upstairs was basically separate from them. Mind you, now it was one department. That government department is the Lands and Survey Department. And if the comms people are listening, if someone from Lands and Survey Department is listening this afternoon, they need to know that. They need to ensure that they instruct their employees in the proper way. And the person shouldn't be told, well, they're separate from us. No, you have to be accommodating. That is what you are there for. A public servant, you are there to serve. You are there to go beyond the call of duty, to go that extra mile. So I'm going to call it out. I don't normally do it, but I'm going to call it out because that is the only way that you're going to see change, if that is done. One of our other listeners has pointed out also that for us to note that there is a law that governs the Jake break. So I guess it's just then a matter of enforcement. And my other question would be then, is there any way when those vehicles are being inspected to ensure that is there any way that the Jake brake can be disconnected so that it cannot be used? So I'm curious to hear about that as well. I'm just checking WhatsApp messages because we're going to talk about the tourism industry and the hotels and the hotel training and all of that that needs to take place as well. So, 1966, and some of you would have heard what happened to everything. Some of you would have heard this before, and sometimes repeating, it's good to repeat because you know what I do with the Tradewinds newspaper. I usually try to follow it, like the month of August is coming up, so I just happened to look for the early dates in August for the old Tradewinds newspaper, and lo and behold, have you ever heard that saying before? That's an old people saying too, you know. Don't forget now I'm 74 years of age, so I know all of those old sayings. Lo and behold. I heard that many, many times. Lo and behold. Hotel trainees graduate 4th of August 1966, right here in the Cayman Islands. The graduation ceremonies for the first class of the Hotel Training School in dining room service, sponsored by the Cayman Islands Hotel Association Incorporation with the Evening Institute. And of course, the Evening Institute was created and was run by a gentleman who should be one of our national heroes, Timothy Emmanuel McPhail. Many of us learned under him. We were tutored by him. We were his pupils. So, the Evening Institute, those graduation ceremonies were held at the where? Galleon Beach Hotel. Galleon Beach, which was at the time sitting on Crown land that was leased for 99 years, eventually sold, I guess. And that's just to answer the question from one of our listeners yesterday wanting to know, about the properties that are still owned by government on the 7 Mile Beach area. So the graduation was held at the Galleon Beach Hotel Monday, the 1st of August. Certificates were presented to the following by Mr. John Hatch. Who was Mr. John Hatch? Mr. John Hatch was not only the president of the Hotel Association, but he was also the owner of the Beach Club Colony. It was called the Beach Club Colony at that time, folks. My 74 years on this earth is paying off. So we had graduates, Clariette Anglin, Ellis Anglin, Gwendolyn Anglin, Joanne Eleanor Borden, Esame Bush, Donna Mae Powery, Eileen Connor, and I must declare an interest, that's my sister, Anna Douglas, Andy Naomi Ebanks, Cicely Ebanks, Celia Ebanks, Madonna Ebanks, Hermina Hurlston, John Hodson, Clarice McFarlane, Margaret Nixon, Ella Powery, Francis Samuels, Phyllis May Scott, now known as Miss Phyllis May Moxham, Christine Smith, the late Miss Christine Smith, Hyacinth Stewart. And the article then goes on to say that these graduates will be given preference by members of the Hotel Association when hiring staff. I'm going to come back to that because while our immigration legislation talks about Caymanians being given preference, and not only that, there was a point in time when those ads that were placed in the newspapers for jobs, it said, only Caymanians need apply. Do you see that anymore? No, you don't. Maybe that's something that we need to bring back in our revised or revamped immigration legislation. Only Caymanians need apply. Folks, you're probably saying OC's gone off his rockers this afternoon. No, I'm just being OC. So the Hotel Association wish to express their thanks and appreciation to Mr. Rudy Seltzer, another icon in the tourist industry here in the Cayman Islands, who so ably, and those are my words, who so ably instructed the class. He received several nice gifts from his students. Thanks was also extended to Mr. T.E. McPhail, who made the classroom available at the Secondary Modern School. And at that time, what did they tell you? Say, watch your paper for the announcement of the next class. So, folks, in 1966, and while the tourism industry, the service industry, was nowhere as large as we have as what we have today, 1966, we trained our Caymanians. We put them in those positions. We put them in those jobs as well. The rhetorical question is, why can't it be done now? We can do it and still have some work for the non-Caymanians who require work permits as well. Folks, we have to take a commercial break, go to our headline news at 2 o'clock. When we return, we'll have less than half an hour to go. If you intend to call in, please do so early. I still have lots to talk about. Please stay tuned. Talk Today. We'll be back shortly.
This is the People's Radio Station. Radio KayMind in the Cayman Islands. From Radio KayMind's newsroom, this is Headlines.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market.
I'm April Cummings with your headlines. The annual Cayman Islands Healthcare Conference takes place from October 23rd through the 25th at the Ritz-Carlton Grand Cayman. The theme this year, Healthy People, Healthy Planet, a call to action for sustainable healthcare. Topics will include building resilience in healthcare systems, implementing sustainable practices across the healthcare industry, sustainable supply chains in healthcare, and sustainable procurement of medicines and devices, to name a few. You can find out more at healthcareconference.ky. In international headlines, glide bombs and ballistic missiles struck a Ukrainian prison and a medical facility overnight as Russia's relentless strikes on civilian areas killed at least 27 people across the country. This despite U.S. President Donald Trump's threat to soon punish Russia with sanctions and tariffs unless it stops. Residents in the southeast U.S. are no strangers to heat in the summertime, but this week's sweltering hot weather set at least one record and has forecasters urging residents to limit time outside if possible and stay hydrated. The all-time high temperature at Tampa International Airport was broken on Sunday when the thermometer hit 100 degrees Fahrenheit. The previous record was 99 Fahrenheit in June 2020. Those are your headlines. I'm April Cummings.
www.radiokayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio KayMind Headline News.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Radio KayMind Talk Today continues.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. Less than half an hour to go in the show. One more commercial break to take as well. Our phone lines are open. Toll-free number 1-800-534-8255. Also 949-8037, 949-6990. WhatsApp number 925-3261. And just checking all of the WhatsApp messages to make sure. Yes, I shared that with you, that someone has shared with us that the Jake's breaks, that's addressed in legislation. So I guess it's just a question of enforcement, and we know that the police can't be everywhere. And you don't have to be everywhere when it comes to those dump trucks, because with so much development taking place in the Cayman Islands now, sometimes you see a convoy of them heading east at the same time. You have development going on in West Bay where fill is needed. You have development taking place in 7 Mile Beach. You have development taking place in South Sound. Every place needs some fill as well. So it is possible for the police to get out there and deal with those trucks. Remember some years ago, they had restricted those dump trucks to 30 miles an hour, and they all had that sign painted on the back that said with the 30 on it. And then I think it was challenged, and they realized that there was nothing in the traffic law that allowed them to restrict the dump truck to 30 miles an hour. So that went by the wayside as well. We do have a caller on WhatsApp. Let's take the caller. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. O'Connor.
Hey, good afternoon. How are you doing?
Okay, and you okay?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. Well, concerning work permits, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
These hotels now that have people on work permits, like say the bellman, the front desk staff, when they take out a work permit for these people, how long is that work permit for?
Well, the law actually says that you can issue a work permit for up to 5 years. Most boards, the practices are usually for 3 years, sometimes for teachers. Some boards may issue it for 2 years or for 1 year. It depends on the request as well as the rationale for it. And usually if you want to get a KayMind into that position, and let's say if it has a regulation 6, which means that they need to identify and train a KayMind for that position, whatever renewals that are done, they're done systematically to ensure that a KayMind eventually ends up into that position. But I believe the law says up to 5 years.
Okay, so
but very seldom is that done. I should point out, very seldom is that done. Is it done for 5 years at one time?
Okay, so if these hotels now that have people, if they have people on work permits now with contracts for 5 years with the government, there's no way of canceling those work permits if there's a KayMind who is qualified to be a bellman. There's no way of canceling those work permits.
Well, that's one of the reasons why you wouldn't do it 5 years at one time. You would do it maybe a year or even 2 years at one time, so that once a KayMind has been identified, because remember now, every time they apply for a renewal, they have to advertise. So that's why it would not be good to grant it for 5 years. So like I said, it is normally done for 1 year or 2. Very seldom do you see 3 years, and rarely 5 years.
Okay, because when tourists come here, the first people they should meet is KayMinds. And that's mostly bellmans when it comes to hotels and front desk staff. And the last people should meet when they leave in the island is KayMinds. And again, that's bellmans and front desk staff. And then when you get to the airport, the people collecting your luggage, which by the airport, those who are collecting your luggage when people are departing the island, none of those people are KayMinds. None.
Or even those that are on the gangway or the walkway, or the steps when you're getting on board the plane either. Many times they're not.
Yes. And I hear tourists asking KayMinds. They've asked me before, where are the KayMinds? That is what that's what I've heard them ask me personally as a KayMind. So that shows me the importance of them being able to associate with KayMinds when they come here. It's like going to China. If you go to China and you associate with practically everybody that you associate with, whether it's the taxi, at the hotel, at the restaurant, at the park, wherever, it's a Chinese. It's a Chinese. That makes you feel like you went to China. So it's the same thing when people come here as tourists coming to the Cayman Islands. They should meet KayMinds. When they first come here, they should be able to associate with KayMinds. practically mostly everywhere that they go. And when they leave here, they should be associated with Caymanians, taking their luggage and wishing them a safe flight and welcome and hoping that they will come back. Those are the kind of things that we need to be doing. Not allowing companies that want to do as they please and hiring foreigners like what I see them doing at the airport. That is not fair to Caymanians and the people, these companies that are doing that, they don't have any respect for Caymanians for doing this. So the government shouldn't feel sorry to put them in their place and say, look, you all had enough time now hiring foreigners. It's time now for our Caymanian young boys now to start picking up these suitcases and greeting these people a safe flight and collecting tips like what the foreigners doing.
Yep.
Because it's not fair to our young men to see this happening and don't think that they don't feel bad about it. Of course they feel bad about it because they know they're capable of doing it.
Question for you before I lose you. Do you recall the situation that I was talking about earlier with the sports thing when the young man purportedly representing the Cayman Islands and did such a terrible job of it that they had to take him off the track at some international event? You recall that in the 70s? Are you old enough to remember that?
In the 70s, what year in the 70s?
I can't recall offhand. I'm going to try to Google it because I'm sure that there's something out there still, but I haven't had the chance to Google it yet. But the person's father was, quote unquote, prominent in the Cayman Islands in terms of whatever work that he did in the Cayman Islands. So he felt privileged that he could go and represent the Cayman Islands because those days the whole selection thing with for the Olympics or international. I don't remember if it was the Olympics or the Commonwealth Games, but it was something there. I'll find it though. I'll find it.
No, I really don't know anything about that. But one thing I can say, Mr. O'Connor, I'm glad to see that they're getting that new aquatic center. Getting ready now to start that and put that in place. And I hope that young man, Mr. Jordan, becomes a big part of that also when it comes to training our Caymanian young people. Thank you.
Use his expertise as well. Let's take the last commercial break now, Paul, if we can, and then we will go straight through until 2:30 after that. Folks, please stay tuned. Talk Today. We'll be back shortly.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
There's something new at Subway. Indulge your taste buds with our new barbecue pork rib sandwich tender. Smoky pork ribs smothered in sweet and tangy barbecue sauce, built just the way you like it. It's bold, rich, and seriously satisfying. But hurry, it's here for a limited time only. Order now on the Subway Cayman Islands app for quick in-store pickup or get it delivered with Bento or Let's Eat. The all-new barbecue pork rib sandwich, only at Subway. Subway. Eat fresh.
Yummy. This summer, choose from 10 international destinations for your vacation with Cayman Airways. Explore New York, discover Denver, roam Los Angeles, play in Tampa, shop in Miami, tour Panama, uncover Havana, hike in La Ceiba, jam in Kingston, or relax in Montego Bay. Connecting flights are also available from the sister islands. Cayman Airways offers more international non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline, and the lowest rates for checked bags. Book today at CaymanAirways.com, download our new mobile app, or call Cayman Airways reservations on 949-2311. Come fly with us and relax with your uniquely Caymanian airline.
Freedom, Cayman Brack. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Radio KayMind's Talk Today. What is on your mind, KayMind?
Good afternoon. Welcome back to Talk Today. We're on the last leg of the show this afternoon. I'm your guest host, Orrett Connor, and we're going to take our caller who's on hold. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today. Okay, caller's no longer there. Welcome to call back. Still have about 15 minutes left. This person has written and said, afternoon, OC. Unfortunately, some of these companies that are not hiring Caymanians are Caymanian companies. So true. That is true. That is true. And many of them, I'm going to read the rest of it, but I'll say many of them are looking at their bottom line. And while they will tell you, well, it would be cheaper to hire a Caymanian, sometimes you wonder if that is the case, because they know they wouldn't be able to necessarily pay the Caymanian the same wages as well. Says 2 companies that have contracts with the airport are Caymanian owned, and even the check-in airline staff are not Caymanians. So we have to blame our own. Agreed. We're going to take the WhatsApp caller. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today.
Good day, Mr. Connor.
Hey, good day. Good day. How are you?
You mentioned something a few minutes ago. I can't remember. But, something I've always wondered is when employers bring in a person on a work permit, whether they are giving them a probationary period. I know for sure that most Caymanians that get employed, all Caymanians, the law says that there's a probationary period. Of course, Caymanians are given that probationary period, and I know of some who has been released after the probationary period because it didn't work out. So I wonder what happens in the case of persons who have work permits, whether because and I'm trying to get my thoughts together properly. I wasn't sure whether I wanted to call in about it, so I kind of lost my train of thought. But it's something to wonder about, and I think that the government implementing the no job hopping concept there, that you have to be on a job for a certain amount of time is a good move too, because this will enable employers to think very, very hard before they bring people here on a work permit, because they have to make sure that they're going to be the right fit. First, they have to make sure that they do go the extra mile to try and find a Caymanian. Absence of that they find the very right fit for them, because they'll be bringing someone here, and if I just wonder what happens if they put these work permit holders on probationary periods. And
that's a good question. That's a good question, because you wonder, because they know then that they will if they brought them here, then they will be burdened with the cost of repatriating them as well. Right. So you wonder whether or not there may be hidden reasons why they wouldn't want to do that. Yeah.
Yes, that's where I was going with it too. And if the this should be a question Minister Miles may want to address too, because we have to make sure that in itself is another equal process that's happening. Because if they're going to spend money to bring them here, and it doesn't work out, then what happens? That means they have to. I don't really hear too much about employers releasing too many people on work permit. I mean, some people do get terminated, yes, and that leaves them to job hop. But now we'll have that job hopping process kind of cut off, and so I just wondered about that probationary period, whether employers put the same for work permit holders,
And even caller, even sometimes when they're terminating someone, they will give them a letter to say, well, we no longer have any work for them, which then sort of it eliminates them or removes them from the job hopping situation, and that's to help them to get a job somewhere else. They do whatever to accommodate their stay on the island as well. Yeah.
Right. I agree with you on that. Yeah, well, I just wanted to throw that out there because it's something that's been bothering me, or I've been wondering to see.
Yep.
How does it is it an equal application for that process? But I'm sure Minister Miles will hear about this call and something additional for him to put on his to-do list.
Well, I'm sure, and the advice that he will receive from the Director of Work as well as the various the chairs of the various boards as well, they will all have an input. Thank you very much, caller. We're going to try to grab another caller before we close the show off. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today.
Good afternoon to you, Mr. Lucy.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon. How are you?
Yes, fine, thank you, sir. I hope yourself.
I'm good, thanks.
Say the same. Earlier on, just say this real quickly. You talked about Jake brakes on the trucks. Those things were implemented for the big logging trucks coming down the mountains in Western Canada and the United States. That's what they were initially done for. We don't have any mountains or hills here. There's no need whatsoever for them, and the fuel isn't burned properly. I would go into technicalities of it, but that's one of the things with it. That it's compression stays, decompression stays of the engine, and the compression from the engine adds to the braking effect of the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
And so it emits a lot of smoke, as you see every time when they're applying that, the noise. It should be stopped. It should have been stopped a long time ago. I agree with Captain Schmidt. But we don't have any hills. We don't have any mountains here. But we don't have any courage either. So it probably won't be stopped. I don't know. I recently gave my opinion to Chalo on the radio when he talked about the district councils. And I don't know if you heard what I said, or other people might have reported what I said, I imagine. But
what day was this? When was this?
I can't. It's about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
When he was talking about district councils, I told him what I'm saying to him is my opinion only. As when I talked to you about the first elections in our country, how the people were nominated, who nominated them, who elected them even, and I have no history with them. But what I said to him, and I heard yesterday, I think he was talking about it, some first discussions of it amongst the government at the time and the opposition, and it just sort of cemented the point I made when I made it to him on the radio, and I stand by that. District councils, as we are now, I said, it will not work, and it cannot work, and it has not worked. It hasn't been implemented for some of the same reasons I said. It would deteriorate into a political argument. Every meeting, people here sometimes tend to be involved.
Well, it depends on how you structure. It depends on how you structure the legislation. What what responsibilities or powers that you give to the advisory district council. So it depends on how you structure it.
Well, I still maintain that what's going to happen is a political argument at every meeting. I'm giving you my opinion. And that's my opinion why it hasn't been implemented or why it might not be implemented ever by our elected.
I mean, you can have your opinions, but you can't have your own facts.
No, it's not facts.
Okay.
I'm not speaking on facts because politics, as you know, sometimes isn't controlled by facts.
That's true. That's so true.
It isn't at all.
Yep.
Major decisions are not made by facts because facts sometimes shift around depending on the situation you're in and so forth. And that's why I said so. I'm listening to what they are saying because there was no decision on whether they would be elected or whether they'd be appointed, and they were to be appointed by the governor and so forth. And then the government cabinet would have, or the premier would have a certain responsibility to find some, and the leader of the opposition some, and then this is my point. Maybe if we didn't have, like how Mr. Miller has been appointed, or he was elected, I have no idea, but I know he did have some district council, but then that's one big district. It's not 5 or 4 or 6 broken up. That makes a major difference to the whole scenario.
Yeah, but wouldn't you agree that the key word in there is advisory? Just like our referendum was an advisory referendum, it wasn't binding. So if they're called advisory district councils, and we use the word advisory in there, that whatever things that they bring forward only consists of advice.
Yes.
Then
I understand correctly what you're saying, Mr. O.C. But then again, you refer to the referendum. Again, I'm going to give you my opinion. The referendum was a waste of time. Okay, well-meaning by Mr. Bryan bringing it about. I understand his reasoning behind it. But as I said, advisory only and so forth. And it was a waste of time. And so if you put the same thing along with the district council, then I have to say it'd be a waste of time.
But here's my
opinion.
Here's where I would disagree with you on that, because whereas in the as far as the referendum was concerned, the advice can be followed or not followed, not binding. If your advisory district council that you have been a part of in terms of nominating or whatever some of those members, and you fail to you don't necessarily have to follow all of the advice that they're given, but if you fail to even acknowledge or try to implement some of the things that they advise you on, then you will pay for that politically if you are a candidate in the next election. So it's consequential. It can be consequential.
I understand, but the same thing could happen without that, because there is no person, I don't know any that has ever ran for politics that didn't have their own advisory, if you want to call it political council. I know of none. Nobody's going to try to run, but run for elections, or be successful elections at the polls if they didn't have an advisory council to begin with. This is why I'm saying to me, it's strictly a political thing. And in our small country, in our small districts, I can't see how it's going to not be just descending to political squabble with every meeting, how they're going to be elected, if they're going to be elected, who's going to appoint them, and who's going to have, there'll be arguments over that. It'll take maybe months to just put together a council. And
Caller, if you haven't already, I would encourage you to look at the old legislation that was there. Now, the time that was drafted, and a lot of it wasn't accepted, but there were ideas in that, and we can draw from that in terms of where we want to move forward with it. But I wouldn't be as dystopian about it in terms of the fact that it's not likely to work. Depends on how we craft it.
And I know you're a great creature of politics and understand these things, but I've stood as an amateur here with all.
No, you've been here much longer than me. You've seen more of it than I have.
And I as I said, politics breeds strange bedfellows.
Yep.
And I really see we know that many politicians, many would be and many who have been successful, have come in on the coattails of a few of our most famous politicians. And we don't need to call names. We know exactly who I'm talking about. I say over the years what has happened. And therefore, it's the same with the district councils. It'll be a political, it'll just be a political sort of battle with those meetings. However you do it, if you try to elect them, how are the elections going to be run, and who is going to have hard talk about having people who are only on work permits be on the advisory councils also, since they may have great knowledge to impart and so forth, so on. How is that going to go down with voters? How is that going to go down? I don't know.
Our Constitution goes down pretty well with them now, and if you can't run for elected office unless you're Caymanian, and certain things, you have to have that Caymanian lineage as well. So, it is all there. But caller, I want to thank you. Thank you very much. I've gone over a few minutes. Yep, nice talking to you again as usual.
Take care. God bless you.
All the best. I want to thank all of you also who contributed to the discussion this afternoon. I welcome you to join me tomorrow morning at 7:30 for the record. Hopefully, I'm not sure. We should have someone from or persons from the opposition. Wednesdays is the day that has been set aside for opposition to be on for the record. If not, we will have lots to talk about. So I welcome you to join me. Enjoy the rest of your day. Please stay safe out there, whether you're a pedestrian, a cyclist, or if you're operating any type of motorized vehicle. Remember, if you observe the rules of the road, the life you save may just be your own.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And KayMind Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.